Hello and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm your host, Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Reverend Don Lewis. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, we want to say that our thoughts are with everyone in the path of Hurricane Helene. Please stay safe and heed all warnings.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, you're getting ready for the lustration in Danville.
Yes, indeed. On Sunday, it will be quite interesting.
Yes. We will have just started with the Odin's Eye.
Yes.
Our second satellite that's a rather once in a lifetime occasion for us.
Yes, indeed. I am expecting it to be an interesting 2 months.
Yes, I've been looking at the numerology of it. So we're going to start on the 27th. Tomorrow is a 1 date.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all about new beginnings and things, a new cycle.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yes. And hello to everyone joining us. If you've got a question, please go ahead and post it in chat.
Not everyone all at once, though.
Come on, all at once.
Meanwhile, we shall have to make small talk.
Yes, until somebody posts a question for us. Well, we can talk a little more about Odin's Eye.
Yes. Well, I'm sure it's not the only time it's ever happened, but it's the only time that I'm aware of that we've been aware that it's happening. And to have a second moon, even on a short term, is amplifying the effects of our normal moon. It's multiplying it. In my mind, that's a lot of the significance of the event. It ties into certain mythological features. The timing is very interesting. But in particular, those aspects of the moon bringing forth that which is hidden, what is subconscious, psychic abilities, and so forth, I feel will be very strongly highlighted during this period. So that's what I will be looking for.
Okay.
And hello to Renee in the
Hi, Renee.
chat room.
And Renee asked if I'm getting the hurricane. Well, I'm in Middle Tennessee, and we are expected to have rain and thunderstorms later tonight and into basically the rest of the weekend. Hi, Fluffy. Hello, Corey Judy.
Hello, hello.
And if anyone's got a question for us, please go ahead and post it in the chat.
Oh, so Corey is in the hurricane area. So, Corey, we will certainly keep you in our thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
And, oh, you're in Tampa.
Oh, boy.
Well, make sure to stay as safe as you can, and hopefully it will not be too bad.
Yes. Hope it will not be. All right. And Renee is asking for a general reading, or are the finances getting better yet? So we can do that. Thank you, Corey. You're right. It is headed our way, but for those of us in Tennessee, but it's certainly going to be far worse where you are. And I had an escapee to this time.
Okay.
Hi, Anissa. Hi, Zebra. So, Renee, my escapee, or my jumper, as I tend to call them, is the body. And when this card comes up, this is the ensouled Gaia. So everything is interconnected. So when you're making decisions around your finances, consider them carefully because there may be unintended consequences. Then the next card I've got is the Seven of Lamps. And this card is about letting go of the past, let go of patterns, associations, anything that doesn't serve you. So, whatever around your finances is just not working for you, it's time to let it go. Then we've got the Seven of Pentacles, which is overall a good card on the material plane. It says you actually have several good options to choose from at the moment. So, going back to the body, consider those choices carefully as far as how they may affect you or other people unintentionally. And then finally, I have got the Magus, the Magician. So, really, you are able to manifest what you want to happen in this situation. You just have to sit down and focus on it.
And I have drawn the Magus. And the Magus says that you are manifesting your reality. So make sure that you're focusing on the positive, and what you get will be positive. Do not let worry overwhelm you. Do not let concern for the situation drag down your manifestation, but stay focused on the positive. It's followed by the King of Cups, which is happiness, and the Three of Wands, which is celebration. So I would say, I would look at things, generally speaking, to be pretty good. And in terms of finances, I've drawn the Four of Cups. Four of Cups says, well, it's not going to be perfect, but basically good. There are more things you may want, but what you have will be good. So focus on that good, and you'll be pleased.
Okay, and then we had a question from Anissa. Anissa is asking, will I move before December? Well, the first card I've got for you is the Ten of Lamps. This is about mastering your spirituality and your magic. And I'm going to say, in this context, if you want to be moving, you need to be working on manifesting that. I have got the Seven of Cups, which indicates several choices available to you. So you do have the option to move if you wish. And finally, I've got the Four of Wands. And this indicates some success, getting what you want, and I'm going to say perhaps working with someone else to get there. So overall, you're certainly able to move before December or by December if that's what you want to do.
And cards I have drawn are the Ace of Coins, the Magus again, and Temperance. And these are all very positive cards. And so to me, the question would be, do you wish to move? If you do, I would say that absolutely you will do so. If you wish to stay where you are, then I think I would say you will do that. But I think you will achieve what it is you're desiring in the situation. The Ace of Coins is all about money, all about finances. And looking at these other cards, I would say the finances you need will be there to do what you wish to do. The Magus, again, is your ability to manifest, focus on what you want, and this will come to pass. And Temperance says that you're making new things out of old things. You're developing things as you go forward, developing yourself as you go forward. So it's a positive card of growth. And it's also a card of change. So again, my inclination is to say that probably you will move before December, assuming that this is in fact what you wish to do. If it isn't, I would say these cards basically are saying you'll be able to do what you want to do. So it is kind of important which it is you want, but it feels to me like the move would be positive, and you'll be more than able to do it. So there you go.
Okay. And then we have a request from Corey Judy for a general reading. Okay, so the first card I've got for you is the Nine of Lamps. And with the Tarot of Hecate, lamps are around spirituality and magic. And with this being the 9, this is about looking at how you can employ that to help other people. Next, I've got the Hanged Man, which is where we have Odin hanging on the tree. And I think maybe this card could be considered especially significant for the next couple of months.
That's true.
We have our second moon, Odin's Eye, coming to us. So I would look for a lot of psychic and spiritual development during this period of time. And lastly, I've got the King of Pentacles. So you should have the material resources you need for what you're doing right now.
The cards I have drawn are the Five of Cups, the Magus, and the Eight of Lamps. So the Five of Cups is not, it's sorrow, it's unhappiness, and it's suggesting that either where you are or where you're about to be is not everything you want it to be. That there are things that you want to change, maybe do differently, things you're not satisfied with. But it's followed by the Magus, which says you have the ability to change all of that. You have the ability to work your will in the situation. You want to remember that. You want to remember that you are not helpless in this situation. And you can take those things that make you uncomfortable and change them. So use your abilities, use your magical abilities, as well as your worldly abilities to focus on what you do want and bring it to pass. And it's followed by the Eight of Lamps, And the Eight of Lamps is mastering skill. It is achievement. It is movement forward. And it suggests that you'll come out of this very well. You just have to remember that those things that are not to your taste are entirely in your power to change, and use that power to do so. And there you go.
Okay. Hope that is helpful. And hello to Christopher, who is asking, is temperance associated with Sagittarius? And I'm not sure how to answer that. Do you associate temperance with Sagittarius?
I don't really mix my astrology and my tarot for the most part. Now, I know there are many people who do. And in some tarot philosophies, that's very important. It's just not part of the way that I learn tarot.
Okay.
I could see how it would be, however.
All right. And then we have a request from Fluffy. Can I get a reading about my mindset? I'm using my mindset, sorry. I'm using AI bots to write stories again, and I tend to do this when I want to isolate. Am I just stuck in my own head, or am I isolating because subconsciously I want to avoid people in my life who have problems?
Okay, can you rephrase that for us? How can we put that simply?
What? Let's see.
Okay, so the question is, do I understand the question to be basically whether or not this is just a matter of isolating to avoid problematic people, or actually in a creative state?
He added a little more. He said, the last time I wrote stories, it was a precursor to my mom being in a coma for 4 days.
He's also rephrased it in the chat room as, why am I feeling off? That's easier.
Yeah, that's easier.
Thank you, Fluffy.
And you are welcome, Corey. Fluffy, drink a Dr. Pepper and call me in the morning. And that is a joke because he drinks Dr. Pepper constantly. Okay, Fluffy. So the first card I've got for you is the Six of Pentacles, which is about the material world and not your state of mind. But if you're concerned about the material world, this indicates you have enough to take care of yourself and to share. Then I got the Seven of Swords, which indicates things might be a little difficult right now, and you might feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. And then I pulled the Ace of Pentacles, which also indicates you have sufficient material resources. And I didn't think I had enough to go on with these. So I pulled one more card, and this is what I got, Fluff. I pulled your card. And so, you designed this card to be all about losing your foot and using it to transform your life. So I'm going to say that there is transformations coming your way. And maybe you're feeling a little off because you can feel them coming. And that's what I got.
So I had an escapee in the form of the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is the so-called wish card. And that basically says, be careful what you wish for, because what you're wishing for is what you will get. Make sure that you're focusing on what you actually want and not what you fear, so that you pull to yourself that which you desire. I then drew Heart, Sun, and Seven of Coins. And the heart, of course, is the heart, the emotions, the inner self. The sun is worldly success. And I think what's happening is that you're feeling a difference, a disjointedness between your emotional self and your worldly self. Maybe you don't feel you're expressing yourself correctly or enough. Maybe you feel that it's difficult to get the things that your emotions desire. Seven of Coins says that you have a number of possibilities for how to resolve this. There are many options there, but what you need to do is to bring your inner and outer selves into greater alignment, and that brings us back to the Nine of Cups. Make sure you know what it is you want, because when you don't know what you want, then it's very hard to get it. And that's often how we come to be at cross purposes with ourselves. So take a little time to look inside, make sure you know where your head actually is, and then look at your different options. And you'll find that there are ways to achieve the things you want and to make you feel better about it. And there you go.
Okay. And Anissa had responded saying, no, but the goddess might be directing me to find a new church. My uncle is looking into moving more than I am.
Okay.
Okay. And then let's see, Janet asked for a general reading for the next week.
Wait a minute. I didn't draw the magus in that reading. A pattern has broken.
Goodness. You're very right, though. That the first three we did, you drew the magus every single time, and in the first one, I drew him as well. Anissa says, don't tell him that. He might not get to sleep later.
So we're reading for Janet in the next week.
Yes.
Now we'll be seeing Janet this weekend.
Yes, we
at the
will.
regional illustration.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you, Janet. All right, the first card I have for you is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is about precise communication and looking at what has worked for you in the past and what has not worked for you in the past. So consider that going forward this week. And then we've got the Six of Pentacles, which is the second time I've drawn this card tonight. So this is saying that on the material realm, you can expect things to go fairly well. You'll have what you need and be in a position to share if you wish to. And Seven of Swords. How many times? 3, I think. So, and I'll relate this back to the Queen of Swords. They're both swords around communication and action. So you may face some difficulty this week, and you'll need to work hard to get where you need to go with it. And I pulled one more card, and I got the Princess of Swords. And she always advises to communicate carefully so you won't be misunderstood. So communication is key this week, Janet.
And the cards I have drawn for Janet are the Moon, the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and then I also drew the Ace of Swords. So the Moon, to me, represents magic, psychism, higher abilities, and also sometimes our subconscious. With the advent of the second moon beginning this week, this coming week, it, I think, emphasizes all those things even more. So be open to your spiritual self and pay attention to your spiritual guidance as much as your conscious mind. Make sure that if you get hunches or intuitions, you pay attention to them. The Ace of Pentacles is money, resources. I would say a number of things happening in this coming week will have to do with concern over money and resources. And the Five of Cups suggests you may not be entirely happy with that situation during this period, but that brings us back to the Moon. And if you find you're not happy with it, use your psychic and magical ability to improve that situation. Do not just accept it, but change it. And finally, we have the Ace of Swords, which is a decision. So I think in this coming week, you may have an important decision that will affect your finances and probably your general happiness as well. And I would say whatever that decision is, don't put it off past the end of the week, but make it a point to resolve it. And there you go.
And hello to Magical Mermaid. Happy autumn to you. And yes, the meteor or Odin's Eye is definitely adding to it.
Odin's Eye.
I love it.
I'm expecting that to be in our upcoming metaphysical and magic auction.
Okay.
Janet says, thank you both so much. Thank you, Janet.
You are welcome, Janet. And Diane has said, Reverend Mary and Reverend Don, I'm uncertain when to retire. I should wait till I'm 70 to get the bigger Social Security check, but I'm so tired of working. Is it better to wait or retire sooner? I'm so fearful.
Okay. And Janet says she loves the art. Thank you, Janet.
So the first card I've got for you is the Four of Lamps. And lamps are around spirituality and magic. And the four is being called to work more in that realm. So that might be a point in favor of retiring. I've got the Seven of Swords again. I am shuffling these cards, really. But the Seven of Swords is around communication, and it's around having to work hard to get what you need, and you have worked hard to be where you are. I've got the Princess of Swords, who advises communicating clearly to be sure you're not misunderstood. If you're discussing your plans with anyone, be sure you are clear about them. And then I've got the Ace of Pentacles, which in general suggests you have sufficient resources. So I think it will work for you either way you go here.
So I have drawn cards for both choices. I will tell you what they say. For retiring earlier, we have the Six of Swords, Justice, and the Nine of Swords. For retiring later, we have the Prince of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Eight of Coins. And I'm going to tell you what they both say, but in the end, I have to agree with what Mary said. It could work out well either way. But for retiring earlier, we have the Six of Swords, which says it'll be a bit of a journey. Justice says you'll get back from it however much you put into it. And the Nine of Swords says that what you're worried about with that, you're right to be worried about. You'll have to deal with it, but it will be easier to deal with than you imagine. And from what you say, that would be the lesser amount of money. I'm going to draw one more card to go with those. And I've drawn the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups says if you retire earlier, you'll be in a perfectly fine situation. It just won't be everything you wanted it to be. So I'll lay those to one side. And then for the other side, we have the Prince of Swords. If you wait to retire later, you want to make sure that you're getting what you need out of it. You want to make sure you're using a healthy dose of selfishness and that you're not doing it for any reason that is not caring of yourself. Not because other people think you should, not because it seems to be the practical thing to do, but because it's what you choose to do. Ace of Wands says there's certainly a lot of passion involved in the situation. And the Six of Coins, or I beg your pardon, the Eight of Coins, there's a lot to be learned in this situation, a lot to master in dealing with it. And one last card to go with it so that both sides match. And we have the Prince of Wands, which is dissipation. I'm inclined to say you'll do just fine either way. But if you're expecting a major benefit from waiting longer, I don't think it's going to be that major. And so I would say ask yourself what you want to do. It sounds like you'd kind of like to retire earlier. And I'm inclined to say you probably should do that. The things you worry about will still be there, but there are things that can be dealt with. I also have a cautionary story on this subject. My cousin, Lady Crystal, had a half-sister by the name of Lucille, and Lucille had this same situation. And Lucille decided that she wanted to work as long as she could to get the highest amount she could get. And she did that. And then she retired, and she was all happy to be beginning her retired life, and it lasted for 2 months, and then she died. Don't count the chickens till you got them. And if you're making a major sacrifice, make sure you're getting the result. It seems to me that although you'll do fine either way, you'll be happier if you retire earlier. So there you go.
Okay, and now we are going to pause for a word from our sponsors.
Yay, sponsors. Ready to unlock the secrets of the universe? Join me, Reverend Don Lewis, for my metaphysical and magic auctions at Gaia Thrift at whatnot.com. Discover fascinating artifacts, mystical crystals, and rare and unusual books that could change your life. Don't miss this chance to bring a little magic into your world. Reverend Don's Metaphysical and Magic Auctions, where the extraordinary can become yours.
There we go.
Ready to unlock the secrets of the universe? There we go.
There we go. And thank you to our sponsors, Equinox Learning Hub and Reverend Don.
Yes. We want to say hello to Ryan in the chat room.
Hi, Ryan. And you are welcome, Diane.
Yes, indeed.
Happy autumn to you. And I believe we are caught up with questions at the moment.
Okay.
So if anyone else has a question for us, please go ahead and post it. And hello, Ryan. Okay. Well, while we're waiting, I wonder if you would draw 3 cards for me about Nashville Pagan Pride Day.
Certainly.
It's coming up Saturday, October the 5th, if you're in the Middle Tennessee area. I'm one of the co-coordinators. We are officially at the we're losing our minds stage of event coordination.
And I have drawn the Ace of Lamps, the Five of Coins, and the Seven of Wands. So the Ace of Lamps is all about spirituality.
That's us.
And, well, yeah, that's your motivation. It's not about money. It's not about anything else. And that may be just as well, because it's followed by the Five of Coins, which is not necessarily being happy with financial situations. Not necessarily disaster either, but not everything you might want. And then the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands says, you can certainly pull off what you want to pull off. It will be just fine. But there's a certain amount of work there. You already know that. So I think that I would say I don't see any major disruptions in these 3 cards. I think financially that, well, it will be what this sort of event normally is.
Yes.
An act of love.
It is an act of love. We work very hard to pull it off. You stay safe too, Corey.
Yes, indeed.
Corey says, I love you, Reverend Mary and Reverend Don. Your knowledge inspires me to focus hard on my inner spiritual. And Corey's power is flickering. So you stay safe.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And Zebra has asked for a general reading. And it just started raining here. All right, so the first card I've got for you is the Five of Swords. So things have been feeling chaotic, I think, for you. And you're wondering what to make of it or how to pull things off. However, the next card I've got for you is Judgment. And Judgment means getting what you've worked towards. So, whatever you have been working on, you are going to reap the fruits of your labors here. Even if you don't see it coming right this minute, it is coming. And finally, I've got the Sun, which is a card of very good fortune, happiness, everything coming up well. So I hope that's helpful, Zebra.
And I have drawn the Five of Cups, the Six of Coins, and the Three of Swords. And then I also drew the Eight of Coins. So the Five of Cups, again, is a card of not really being happy with all the things that are currently around you. Wanting perhaps some changes or some adjustments. It is followed by the Six of Coins, which is getting help in making those changes, so you don't have to deal with it alone. The help may come from the universe or from a particular person, but there is help that's going to be there for you to do the things you wish to do. And part of what you need to do is make some changes in the relationships around you to get to where you want to be. That doesn't necessarily mean ending relationships. It can be declaring your boundaries. But you do want to make some adjustments in relationships. And this is going to be a time of great learning for you. You'll be learning a lot of things. You will move forward. And that dissatisfaction in the present will be dealt with. So there you go.
Okay. And then let's see. Nathan has asked for general reading.
And Zebra says, thank you both so much. Thank you, Zebra.
Yes. Okay, so the first two cards I have are very similar in nature. I've got the Eight of Wands or the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Wands. And both of these suggest that you have been feeling stuck, like things aren't moving. And then I've drawn the Eight of Lamps. And this is a card. Of course, lamps are around magic and spirituality. And the eight is about focusing on learning and gaining new skills. So that's where your focus needs to be right now. And over to you, Don.
So I've drawn the Eight of Wands, the body, and the Princess of Wands. The Eight of Wands is speed. So I think central to Nathan's situation, things are going to be moving forward quickly. And I would look for things maybe to go faster than expected. The body says to take care of yourself, make sure you're getting what you need from the situation, make sure that you are not ignoring yourself in the situation. Make sure that you're getting the things that you require as these changes take place. And again, I would look for some of them to take place very quickly. The Princess of Wands says, yeah, that's all well and good, but you're not really ready to move forward just yet. Changes are happening, but the real movement forward is yet to come. Keep building towards it. But you've got most of what you need. It just isn't quite time yet. So if you're sitting there on the starting line saying, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, it's not quite time to fire the starting pistol yet. So be patient, but it's coming. And in the meantime, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And there you go.
Okay, and now we have a question from Ryan. It says, I have gone back to school and I'm enjoying being back. It feels very much meant to be, but I don't know what direction to go next. Is there something I should be on the lookout for education or career?
Okay.
So while I was shuffling, I had an escapee. So here we have the Nine of Pentacles, which suggests being in a very good, luxurious position and something that you've worked for. So you're going to be in the type of position you're wanting to be in. Now, I have got the Seven of Lamps, and this card is about letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Any old habits, old ways of thinking, anything negative that holds you back, time to let it go. I've also pulled the Ace of Pentacles, which is around money in the material realm, and I'm seeing that as you'll be moving forward in a good position in your career. And I've got the Four of Wands, which is about obtaining what you want. So you were asking what direction to move in. Since I'm getting so many pentacles, I would say this is talking about moving towards your career. So I hope that is helpful.
And I have drawn Justice, King of Wands, Seven of Lamps. And the first card, Justice, usually means to me getting back what you put in. That the more you put in, the more you're going to get from the experience. However, since you're looking for direction, I would say your direction may have something to do with the expression of justice. So I would look for that possible influence. And beyond that, it says the more you put in, the more you'll get out. With it is the King of Wands. King of Wands is passion. You're going to find yourself feeling passionate about your educational and career experience as it goes forward. And the Seven of Lamps says, and you also need to clear yourself of outgrown energies, things that you don't need to carry forward. Make sure you leave them behind and embrace the future wholeheartedly. Part of the reason that you may be looking for direction in this way, maybe that old tapes are holding you back. So I would do maybe some soul retrieval, maybe some shadow work to let go of those things. And then I think you'll find that your direction will become easier to manage. And I think it will have something to do with justice. And there you go.
Okay, and Nathan says, much appreciated, beautiful message. Thank you, guys. He also said, love the hat, Reverend Mary. Why, thank you.
Yes.
And Joanne Griffin has asked for a general reading, and Zebra says, thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay, so the first card I've got for you is the Nine of Swords. And this is sometimes called the Ghastly Nightmare. But here's the thing. It's just a nightmare. Whatever it is, it really can't hurt you unless you roll out of the bed or something, run into a wall trying to get away from it. So, whatever you're concerned about in this situation, you need to face it, but it's not going to be as bad as you think. And then I have drawn both the Four of Swords and the Nine of Wands. And both of these cards suggest a period of rest or a time of waiting where things just don't seem to be moving for you. So I drew one more card, and we've got the Ace of Swords. So even if you're feeling stuck right now, you do have an upcoming decision to make. And it will be best if you make the decision quickly. So I hope that's helpful.
And I have drawn Two of Swords, Five of Cups, and 10 of Coins. So the Two of Swords represents an alliance or partnership of some sort. And I think in the immediate future, how you're relating to another person could possibly be an institution, but usually we'd look for a person. It's going to have everything to do with how you're feeling about things. And how you're feeling about things is that you're not really entirely happy with where they're sitting. Maybe something in this relationship is not being helpful. Something in this relationship may seem to be holding you back or not going where you want it to go. And I'm going to draw a card for what you can do with that. And the card I have drawn is the Prince of Cups. And the Prince of Cups basically is expression, at least relevant to this question. Make sure that you're expressing what you need to express, and make sure that you're enjoying what's going on. If this other person is interrupting your joy, don't let them. And then the final card, the 10 of coins, is being in a good, strong position. So yeah, you may be unhappy with some of the things going on around you at this time, but it's not that you're in a bad position at all. You're in a great position. Um, so make sure to handle that situation or that person that is not where you want it to be, and everything else will be fine. And there you go.
I hope that's helpful. And next, hello to What a Lovely Day 90. And their question is, do I have 30 guides? And I'm not sure we can address that with tarot. You certainly have spirit guides.
Uh,
Well,
let
we
us
can
try.
pull some cards and see what
Yeah.
they say. But I don't remember a 30 card in this deck. Okay, so the first card I've got for you is the King of Wands. Wands are about passion, and the King is about planning and being in control of the passion. Then I've got the Nine of Cups, which is the wish card. And basically, be careful what you wish for so you will get it. If you are focusing on positives, you will bring in positives. If you're focusing on negatives, you will bring in negatives. So be careful where you are focusing your energy. And then finally, I've got the Seven of Pentacles, which says that you have actually several good options to choose from right now. And I'll pull one more card. And I've got the veil. And so the veil is talking about using our spirituality and magic to discern what's going on. And since you're feeling something from your guides right now, so I would say try reaching out to your spirit guides.
And Corey, I guess, has the generator on now, and points out that she's one of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you, Corey. I greatly appreciate my Patreons. So for this question, I drew the Magus, making a return appearance, the Four of Swords, and time. And the Magus is the ability to work your will in the situation, the ability to perform in a spiritual and magical way. Time is just what it sounds like, cycles, taking the time that's needed to build things up. The Four of Swords is rest and sometimes a timeout period, but taking them all together, it looks to me that like that would be something that that you're building toward more than you have. But what I would say to the idea of 30 guides is, most people, everybody has guides, and 5 is a pretty normal number. However, if you're feeling a lot more around you, they aren't necessarily guides. They could be spirits who are in communication with you. And that's certainly very possible. When I talk to the ancestors, there are far more than 5 of them. And so if you are doing this kind of work, yeah, you could easily have that many spirits working with you under the right circumstances. Is that what the cards say? They don't really answer it. which is why I'm giving you my opinion on the subject. But I don't know that I'd call all of those guides. I think you'll find the actual number of guides is smaller, but you might be working with a large number of spirits, and certainly would not be alone in doing so. And there we go.
And thank you. And we have reached the top of the hour.
We have.
So it is time for us to close. And would you see us out with a prayer, please?
I will do that. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we rejoice in this walk we walk together. We thank you for the gift of divination and the ability to see beyond our physical sight, and we rejoice in the practice of this art. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you with great love, and knowing you are always with us, still from respect, we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Join us again next Thursday for more Tarot Thursday. And it might be Reverend Don, Reverend Brian, and me. We'll see what we can work out.
Yes.
So thanks again for joining us. Check out my daily tarot reading on this channel, and Reverend Don's Midday with Reverend Don, also on this channel.
And also the Best of Reverend Don's Vlog, also on this channel.
Yes. So thank you for joining us this